Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Yeah, it's actually Thursday now. I know I accidentally said Thursday a couple days ago, but it is actually Thursday now. And first day of training camp is in the books. So I thought I'd briefly go over some of the stuff that we picked up yesterday. Pretty cool. They're streaming some of the practice stuff now. You can actually watch online some of the feed from the VMAC. It's pretty cool. So if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, check it out next time there's a training camp session and you've got some free time. So, what did we learn yesterday from training camp? There were a lot of updates that came out of the VMAC, but a lot of them are just like those little things that probably don't mean anything by themselves. Like D. Eskridge or Dwayne Eskridge or whatever he's calling himself now, he had a big play. JSN had a big play. Matt Landers had a big play. Things like that, like, it's cool, but when it comes to training camp, I think you're better off looking for the trend line. You're not looking for the one big play or the one bad play. You're looking for the guys who are consistently showing up. So we're going to need more time. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell anybody that Eskridge is going to have a big year this year because he had a big catch in first day of training camp. So that kind of stuff, not really going to go too deep into that. Devin Witherspoon, no updates there yet. As of the recording of this video, I haven't heard anything about Witherspoon's contract getting resolved. I haven't heard anything about him being able to participate in training camp going forward. Obviously, he can't until he signs. But I'll say this though. This like you missing one day of training camp. I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's okay, but people will get over that. But very quickly, Seahawks fans are going to. I think it's already going to kind of a bad place. And understand this: 259 players got drafted last year. 259 players got drafted, or excuse me, this year. Every single one of them has come to an agreement with their team, except for Witherspoon. So if you're wondering who is in the wrong here between Witherspoon and the Seahawks, I think that answers your question. So Witherspoon, yeah, get this resolved and understand that at the end of the day, you're not a quarterback. You're not a super duper blue chipper. You're a really good prospect, and you went in the top 5, which you deserve to. But don't let this turn the fan base against you already, because there is a significant part of this fan base that was not happy when Witherspoon was drafted. And I'm not saying that means anything. I'm not saying that matters. It doesn't really matter what the fans think about a player. The only thing that really matters is the player performs when he gets out there. But there is a lot of already negative built-up energy, I believe, around this guy because so many Seahawks fans look at him and they see the player that they wanted in the draft. In my experience, very few Seahawks fans were targeting Devin Witherspoon as their guy. I think of the people who had a cornerback going to the Seahawks at 5, the few people that did, it was mostly Christian Gonzalez. So, again, this is not really me talking. I think that Witherspoon's a great player and he will be great for us. But don't let this get started off on the wrong foot. Don't give the fan base another reason to look back at the draft and complain that they didn't get what they wanted. All right? Again, 258 players, 258 rookies have signed their contract, and then there's you. The only one. So get that worked out. At the end of the day, you're a rookie. You haven't played in this league yet. You're not a quarterback. Yeah, you're not going to get all your money up front. Sorry. I know you were a top 5 pick and maybe you deserve a little bit more than what you're getting, but whatever you're negotiating over, it's not worth you missing training camp time. So in the next few days here, if we don't hear that he put pen to paper on that contract, this is going to start to be a real thing. People are going to turn on him quickly, and justifiably so. When it comes to situations like this, sometimes I side with the player, sometimes I side with the team. In this instance, there's no doubt in my mind that the player is the guy who needs to, and I don't care if it's the agent. I don't care if it's the agent. I don't care if it's his friends telling him to hold out because he deserves more money. I don't really care what it is. At the end of the day, it's Witherspoon. So let's make this a short hiccup in an otherwise long and fruitful relationship. That's really all I can say about it right now. That was a little bit longer than I wanted to go on Witherspoon, but yeah, this has the potential to go in a very bad direction. Rookies basically never hold out anymore. The last rookie to hold out, I think, was Zach Wilson. We see, like, literally, last year, not a single rookie across the NFL held out, I think. So this is not a good precedent. So get it together. Okay, so there were a couple things that popped out from training camp yesterday that I want to talk about real quick. First one is, in my estimation, kind of the big one. This one is surprising, interesting, and yeah. Jarran Reed. According to Pete Carroll, Jarran Reed is going to be playing at least some nose tackle for the Seattle Seahawks. Jarran Reed, who has typically played 3 tech in his career and has played 3-4 defensive end in the last, I think, year or two, is now going to be at least some of the time a nose tackle. So that's interesting. He's certainly not as big as the typical nose tackle. I don't think he has the skill set of a typical nose tackle, but then again, what has he been doing this offseason? Has he been putting on some weight, adding strength? Who knows? But this is kind of interesting. Seems to be the way in which the Seahawks are going to deal with the pretty big hole they have on their nose tackle position. So, Jarran Reed, you cross your fingers and hope he can adjust and handle that responsibility. And then you've got Cameron Young. You hope he can handle the rest of the responsibility of being a nose tackle. And you split the snaps between those two guys. Hopefully you get something passable. And then maybe Brian Monet comes back at some point, and then he can start chipping in. It's not what I first saw. It's not what I foresaw. I think Reed is a little bit bigger than Jonah Tavai, who, by the way, was actually waived yesterday. But he's still not a traditional 3-4 nose at all. He is very much the kind of guy you would expect to be a 3 tech or a 3-4 end. So I don't know if this is just a sign of us being completely desperate because we don't have nose tackles, or if we really see something here. But this is kind of a fascinating development too because of what it does to the defensive end spot. If Reed's going to be playing nose tackle, then you really need to bring in another defensive end. Shelby Harris would make a lot of this go away. We now have the money for it if we need to. So if something like that comes up, Matt Ioannidis also works as well. You've got Akeem Hicks. You've got, God, there are actually, I've said this before, I'll say it again. There are quite a few guys out there. But if this is indeed the direction we're going, I think we need at least one more guy, unless Miles Adams is ready to go out and eat. And I like Miles Adams, so maybe. But yeah, if Jarran Reed is going to be playing nose tackle for us on a significant basis, which Pete Carroll is indicating, then yeah, bring in Shelby Harris, and I'll believe it when I see it. The only other thing I saw that was notable was this from Jesse Morse, MD, on Twitter. He speculated about the Noah Fant injury. Usually means he had an injury to the meniscus, and he likely underwent arthroscopic surgery. Minimum 2 to 3 weeks, but could take up to 6. So doesn't sound like he's in danger of missing any real games. Of course, 2 to 3 weeks would basically take you to the point where preseason's starting, where you're actually starting to get, the practice games. And 6 weeks would get you right up close to the season. So if Jesse Morse is correct here, and the worst case scenario is 6 weeks, then Noah Fant becomes kind of a game time decision for that week 1 game against the Los Angeles Rams. So those are the main updates from the first day of Seahawks training camp that I think are worth noting. Like a lot of the stuff about, hey, this player did good, this player did that. I don't want to spend too much time on that until we start to see the trend lines develop. But the Jarran Reed thing is fascinating. It's surprising. It's a lot of different things that, I'm not going to pretend like they're all good. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys to believe that Jarran Reed's going to be some elite nose tackle now. But it is one way to deal with the problem. And honestly, if you bring in Shelby Harris, look, in my mind, Shelby Harris is a better player than Jarran Reed. So Shelby Harris becomes your starter, and you're bumping over Jarran Reed to be your rotational nose tackle, and you're not accelerating expectations from like Mike Morris or Miles Adams or anybody like that, then that's not the worst solution. All right, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys have heard. Hopefully, later today, we get good news about the Witherspoon thing. Right now, it's just kind of a thing that people talk about because we need something to talk about. But if this spills over into next week, yeah, we're going to have a real problem here. And again, I really want to stress this. 259 drafted rookies this year. 258 have signed their contract. So maybe we're doing a little bit of hardball here, but you know what? If that's the case, then sometimes you got to just take the hardball on the chin and step up into the box for the next pitch. You're getting the money anyway, unless you, I don't know, you're racing mopeds in your free time and you're going to destroy your ACL off the football field. So, yeah, not a lot of, I got to admit, I don't have a lot of understanding and I don't have a lot of sympathy for Witherspoon's position here. Whatever it may be, why ever he's doing this, I got to admit, I'm not really sympathizing with it very much. So if somebody out there has a different perspective, let me know. But yeah, that's how I feel. See you guys later. Go Hawks. We'll get more stuff as time goes by. I've still got a few more prediction videos. I'm probably going to do a Seahawks stream tonight or Friday night to talk about what is going on because we haven't done a Seahawks stream in a while. And yeah, hope to see you guys there probably tonight.